Time now for weather with Nebraska Extension Ag Climatologist and Market Journal Chief Meteorologist Al Dutcher. Al, welcome back. Hope you had a nice week off. Good to see you this week. Regular forecast again. So what's making news in the weather this time around?
It was good to be back. Kind of missed some of the really crazy weather here during my vacation in Michigan. Of course, we had the rainfall and we also had some mixed snow, rain, freezing temperatures in the panhandle. And now we've broken in this last week to basically dry conditions. And we've been moderating our temperatures ever since that very cool, wet spell, very eerily similar to what we'd expect in October. Of course, it's getting close to time for harvest as the crops are starting to mature rather rapidly. And we're starting to see some of that activity take place. And it looks to me like for the next at least 7 days, if not for the better part of the next 2 weeks, we're going to be sitting in pretty good shape in terms of the weather impacts, in terms of harvest weather. Looks like it's an all go. It's just a matter of how quickly things can dry. So let's get to the main forecast and see what we might expect as we go through the 7-day period. As you can see from today's upper air pattern, we have basically the ridge sitting right over the dead part of the country. We have a trough coming into the Pacific Northwest. And that's going to slowly work across the northern plains over this weekend. So we have low pressure set up over eastern Montana. That's basically driving the warmer air as a warm front moves through the state. We see these temperatures rebound from the last couple of days, well into the 80s across the state. As we get into tomorrow, we start to see that trough move over into north central portions of North Dakota. That's going to start to push a cold front slightly through the state. Not much of a temperature shift with it, but slightly cooler temperatures as we get into Sunday night. Overall precipitation that you see is basically on the Gulf. That'll be with Tropical System Wilfred. And as we get into Monday, that ridge starts to build back once again, and we see a surface low trying to develop in southwestern portions of Nebraska. There really is no moisture with this system, so mostly we're dealing with a little bit of cloud cover, but more importantly, the real action will be down along the Gulf, or just things around right offshore. By the time we get to Tuesday, that ridge starts to expand and we start to see a warming trend once again. Low pressure sets up at the surface in eastern Montana, but once again, there's just no moisture for it to feed off of. So anything that we see will probably be in the central Rockies and the heavy precipitation right along the Gulf. By Wednesday, we start to see that ridge broadening out toward the eastern seaboard. That's going to keep temperatures basically above normal and into the 80s. Low pressure sets up, but this is more of a thermal low on the front side of the Rockies. Very little moisture to work with. I'd be surprised if we even see sprinkles at the surface. And on Thursday, that ridge really starts to build toward the north. We're going to get more of a southwesterly flow at the surface. Low pressure in southwest Kansas doesn't have any moisture to work with as it's being robbed by the tropical system down along the Gulf Coast. That is still expected to stay offshore for most of the week. And by Friday, we start to see a trough coming in the Pacific Northwest, and a piece of energy looks like it's going to break off from that in the south central Rockies. And at the same time, low pressure along the Baja Peninsula from tropical system activity is going to start to push moisture up northward. Some of that will make it into the south central Rockies, but for us, basically dry conditions. As we go forward in time, the next Thursday to the following Tuesday, of course, those above normal temperatures look to be dominant with that ridge in place. And in terms of precipitation, well below normal precipitation. So overall, it looks like a very dry pattern. What we will watch for is that tropical system coming up the Baja, bringing moisture in toward the end of the month as that front from the Pacific Northwest works in. That's when the real action looks like it might occur. As soon as we enter into the month of October, things look to get a little bit more dicey in terms of harvest activity weather. So Troy, overall, couldn't ask for better harvest activity weather. Enjoy it while it lasts.